just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health. There's some USA.
The internet has been in absolute meltdown mode over the latest Caitlin Clark headlines, and for good reason. For months, fans have watched the face of women's basketball navigate one of the most scrutinized rookie seasons in sports history. Every hard foul, every controversial officiating decision, every debate show segment, and every viral social media clip has fueled the perception that Clark has been carrying not only the expectations of a franchise, but also the attention of an entire league. That environment naturally created speculation whenever reports surfaced about alternative opportunities outside the traditional WNBA structure. Rumors spread rapidly that Clark might be preparing to leave Indiana, join another organization, or even pursue opportunities in a completely different league. Headlines amplified every possibility, creating the impression that a dramatic departure was imminent. Yet the reality appears far more complex than a simple decision to leave one team for another. The discussion surrounding Clark's future reflects larger questions about player empowerment, compensation, league growth, and how organizations support generational talent. Throughout her rookie campaign, Clark became the center of nearly every major conversation in women's basketball, generating unprecedented attention while simultaneously facing intense competition and scrutiny. That combination made every business opportunity, endorsement offer, and alternative league proposal feel significant. When reports surfaced regarding lucrative opportunities from outside organizations and emerging leagues seeking to capitalize on her popularity, many observers interpreted those offers as evidence that basketball's power structure was shifting. What makes the story so compelling is that it is not merely about where Clark plays basketball. It is about the growing influence of superstar athletes who possess the ability to reshape entire industries through their popularity, marketability, and performance. Whether discussing new leagues, endorsement deals, ownership opportunities, or expanded media roles, the underlying theme remains the same. Clark has become one of the most influential figures in modern sports. As a result, every decision connected to her future carries implications far beyond a single roster move. The attention surrounding these rumors demonstrates just how much influence one player can have over conversations about league economics, player compensation, media rights, and the future direction of women's basketball. While speculation continues to dominate social media, the bigger story may be how organizations across the sports landscape are positioning themselves around a player whose impact extends well beyond the court and whose presence has fundamentally changed the scale of interest in the game. Stephanie White's arrival represented far more than a routine coaching change for the Indiana Fever. After a season filled with growing pains, inconsistent offensive execution, and constant scrutiny surrounding the development of Caitlin Clark, the organization signaled a major philosophical shift by moving on from the previous coaching staff. Many supporters believe the team had not fully maximized the strengths of its franchise centerpiece, often placing Clark in situations where she was forced to create offense against multiple defenders, while the rest of the floor remained relatively stagnant. White entered the organization with a reputation for modern offensive concepts, player development, and an understanding of how to build systems around elite talent. For Fever fans, the hire symbolized an opportunity to create a faster, more dynamic style of basketball that could better leverage Clark's playmaking, shooting range, and ability to manipulate defenses. Rather than asking a generational guard to adapt entirely to an existing structure, the expectation became that the structure itself would evolve around the roster's greatest strengths. That possibility generated significant optimism because the Fever already possessed foundational pieces, including Clark and Aaliyah Boston, capable of forming one of the league's most dangerous inside-outside combinations. The belief among supporters was not necessarily that new players were required, but that better utilization, improved spacing, and stronger chemistry could unlock a much higher ceiling. At the same time, discussions about league expansion, player movement, and Clark's growing influence continued to fuel speculation about the future. The arrival of the Golden State Valkyries added another layer of intrigue to conversations about roster construction and long-term competitiveness. While many rumors linking Clark to other franchises remain speculative, the mere existence of such discussions highlighted how valuable she had become to the business side of women's basketball. Television ratings, attendance figures, merchandise sales, and sponsorship opportunities all experienced significant growth during her emergence, increasing the pressure on Indiana to build a sustainable contender around its superstar. The organization's challenge moving forward is not simply winning games, but creating an environment where its franchise player can thrive while maintaining long-term roster stability. If White successfully implements a system that enhances player movement, strengthens the Clark-Boston partnership, and creates a more balanced offensive attack, the Fever may discover that their biggest roster upgrade was never an external acquisition at all. Instead, it could be the transformation of existing talent into a cohesive championship-caliber unit. The next stage of Indiana's development will ultimately depend on communication, trust, and the organization's willingness to adapt as expectations continue to rise around one of the most influential players the sport has ever seen. As the offseason continued, the conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark evolved from questions about survival to questions about growth. After enduring relentless scrutiny, physical defenses, and the pressure that comes with becoming the face of a rapidly expanding sport, Clark entered the next chapter of her career with a very different level of confidence and influence. Supporters viewed the coaching transition as more than a tactical adjustment. They saw it as the beginning of a new era built around maximizing the strengths of a franchise cornerstone. The belief was that a more modern offensive system could unlock greater efficiency, improved spacing, and create a more balanced attack that would allow Clark and her teammates to thrive together rather than forcing one player to shoulder every responsibility. With a stronger foundation in place, attention shifted toward development, chemistry, and long-term championship aspirations. The continued growth of Clark's partnership with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston became a major focus, as many observers believed the roster already possessed enough talent to compete with the league's elite teams if utilized effectively. At the same time, broader conversations about player empowerment, media attention, league economics, and off-season opportunities continued to surround Clark's rise. Alternative leagues, endorsement opportunities, and ownership-style business proposals demonstrated how valuable she had become both on and off the court. Yet despite the speculation, the central storyline remained Indiana's effort to build a sustainable contender around its superstar. The organization faced increasing expectations not only to win games, but to create an environment capable of supporting one of the most influential athletes in modern basketball. Fans watched closely, hoping to see a stronger system, improved communication, and a clearer organizational vision emerge. Whether discussing roster construction, coaching philosophy, media management, or league-wide growth, the underlying theme remained consistent. The future success of the Fever would depend on their ability to fully embrace and maximize the unique talents of the player who had transformed attention toward the franchise and helped elevate interest across the entire sport. The next phase of Clark's career would not be defined solely by statistics or highlights, but by whether Indiana could convert unprecedented momentum into lasting success and position itself as a legitimate championship.